There are moments in life when the voices around us begin to drown out the voice within. People question our ability, circumstances tighten like a vice, and fear seeps in to paralyze our conviction. In those moments, we are tested in the purest sense. Will we hold the flame of our belief high, or will we let it flicker and die? The world has seen countless dreamers, but those who succeed are not simply the most talented or the luckiest. They are the ones who cling to a relentless belief even as the tides of skepticism swirl around them. This is what every pioneer of greatness has discovered. From the workshop of Thomas Edison to the quiet farms where Abraham Lincoln first grasped his ambition, from the small Disney studio that nearly went bankrupt before introducing the world to a mouse with big dreams. These stories all have one thread in common: unwavering conviction when no one else dared to believe. We stand on the shoulders of giants who faced unimaginable odds. Edison failed 1,000 times before perfecting the light bulb, but was it truly failure? If each setback added fuel to his unwavering faith, Henry Ford was laughed at for proposing that average Americans could afford cars, yet that derision only ignited his determination to find a better way. Andrew Carnegie was an immigrant laborer at the mercy of harsh industrial America. But he held a vision so strong that the obstacles became stepping stones to a destiny beyond his humble beginnings. What did they have in common? A tenacity forged in the fires of doubt, a vision that refused to bow to circumstance, and an almost unbreakable self-belief that guided them like a lighthouse in the darkest night. That lighthouse exists within all of us, glowing with possibility, signaling to us that we are capable of more. But many will never heed its call, because doubt and fear are loud. Doubt threatens that we are not strong enough, not wise enough, not capable of weathering the storms. It is in those moments that a quiet, persistent confidence must rise from our core. The essence of Napoleon Hill's philosophy is that every great achievement begins with a burning desire and an unwavering faith. This faith does not emerge from external circumstances. It is cultivated in the hidden chambers of our hearts, nurtured by clarity, discipline, and an inflexible resolve that will not yield to failure. Relentless belief when the world doubts you is the spark that can set ablaze an empire of possibilities. It is not arrogance. It is not blind optimism. It is the conscious choice to look uncertainty straight in the eye and proclaim, "I will triumph because I refuse any other outcome." This is the conviction that led to the forging of steel in Carnegie's mills, the ignition of the assembly line in Ford's factories, the unstoppable creative imagination of Walt Disney. It becomes a personal commandment written into the very fabric of our souls. We are here to do more than simply exist. We are here to express the magnitude of what we can become. The path of unwavering belief begins in the mind. It is formed in the deep inner recesses of thought, where we craft the blueprint of our destiny long before we see physical evidence. Our thoughts vibrate into the world, influencing the shape of our future. Napoleon Hill wrote that thoughts are things, and indeed, the greatest achievements started as a small pulse within someone's mind, refusing to let go. Every time you rise in the morning and envision success, every moment you choose to believe in your capacity rather than your insecurities, you nurture a seed that can bloom into miracles. Yet, it is not enough to simply think in isolation. Faith alone without clarity turns into wishful fantasy, lost in a haze of daydreams. When we speak of unwavering belief, we also speak of clarity so sharp it could cut through steel. The men and women who shaped the course of history didn't just believe in themselves, they had a crystal clear vision of what they wanted to create. They knew the details of their ambitions, whether it was the shape of a light bulb filament, the blueprint for an engine, or the silhouette of a mouse that would one day become a global icon. Clarity is the lens that gathers the light of faith and projects it into the real world. That clarity aligns with a grand purpose, a reason so compelling that it acts like rocket fuel, pushing beyond the gravitational pull of doubt. Purpose is that deeper why, the irresistible compulsion that drives each of our steps. It is the engine behind Lincoln's determination to preserve the Union against seemingly impossible odds. It is what pulled Oprah Winfrey from a life of hardship to become a beacon of hope for millions. When your purpose is clear, the petty opinions of those who say it can't be done become hollow echoes. Purpose transforms the illusions of impossibility into stepping stones across a raging river. You simply will not retreat because to give up would be to betray the core of who you are. But purpose and belief alone will not create the future. Action bold, consistent, disciplined action is the manifestation of our faith. It is where daydreams meet the harsh light of reality and must prove themselves worthy. The dreamers who never act remain asleep in a world of potential, while the doers, though they risk stumbling, are the ones who ascend to unimaginable heights. When the world doubts you, it is action that leaves an undeniable trail of proof. Each morning, your commitment to your vision is tested anew, no matter how small your steps. Each one is a vote cast for your dream. Each one is a bridge connecting your present to your future. Doubt tempts you to stop, to rest, to proclaim it's not worth the fight. Relentless belief compels you to keep going despite the friction, to keep building even when the rest of the world mocks your hammer and nails. Discipline is the scaffolding that upholds your determination. It is the daily bread of your success journey. Without discipline, faith can become a fleeting emotion that rises and falls with mood and circumstance. Discipline is the quiet, relentless clockwork of your habits, the routine that nurtures your craft, the readiness to learn from each misstep and refine your course. It doesn't bend to public opinion. It doesn't crave immediate validation. Discipline is loyal to your cause even when motivation wanes. It is the chain that keeps you anchored in your mission, forging ahead when others would drift away in the current. When the world doubts you, you must also guard the gates of your mind with vigilance. External doubt is harmful enough, but internal doubt can be fatal. Your self-talk, your environment, your associations, these are the shaping tools of your self-image. Fill your mind with powerful affirmations of your worth and potential. Surround yourself with people whose conviction burns as fiercely as yours. Read, study, and learn from the masters who walk this path before you. Their stories are maps left for us to follow, guiding us around pitfalls and revealing that we are far from alone in our struggles. We become the sum total of the influences we allow into our space. By choosing those influences carefully, we cultivate a mental fortress that can repel the arrows of doubt. Fear may still creep in. That is human. But fear can be harnessed as a catalyst rather than a cage. Each fear is a teacher pointing out areas where we must grow stronger. By confronting our fears head-on, we transform them from obstacles into valuable lessons. We learn to adapt and pivot, to refine our strategy, to develop resilience. Ultimately, fear dissipates in the face of unshakable belief backed by purposeful action. Doubt thrives in stagnation, but with momentum, we outrun the shadows. It is said that success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And that courage is fueled by belief. Belief in ourselves, our mission, and the universal principle that our desires are achievable with the right mindset, strategy, and tenacity. No matter where you begin, no matter how small or uncertain your first steps may feel, you stand in good company. The luminaries of history began in obscurity. Their breakthroughs were not greeted by the cheering crowds we imagine today. More often, they were met with ridicule or complete indifference. The difference was, they did not allow the world's doubt to become their own. They carried on step after grueling step, forging an internal momentum that no critic, no skeptic, and no unforeseen failure could halt. Their names remain etched in the annals of success precisely because they refused to accept defeat as anything more than a temporary detour on the path to victory. This relentless belief is the bedrock of our personal transformation. It is the reason we rise at dawn, hands trembling with anticipation for the possibilities that await us. It is the breath that steadies us in adversity. It is the unwavering companion on those lonely nights when the world is fast asleep and our ambitions are wide awake. We must tend to it like a sacred fire, never letting it die out, for the second we let that fire go cold, we surrender to mediocrity. The extraordinary is reserved for those who keep the flames alive through the bitter winds of doubt. When you decide that your belief is non-negotiable, you begin to see the world differently. Challenges become invitations to innovate. Criticisms become fuel for further determination. And dead ends become opportunities to find hidden roots. A courageous mind sees beyond what is probable into what is possible. It designs success where others only foresee failure. To the courageous mind, each sunrise is a chance to refine, to improve, to get one step closer to that vision shining in the distance like a beacon on a hill. That is the path of the ones who refuse to yield their destiny to the opinions and expectations of the world. They chart their own course, trusting that the highest form of obedience is to their inner call. That call is persistent. We hear it most clearly in the stillness of our own hearts, in the quiet moments of reflection when no one else is watching. It tells us that our aspirations are valid and our dreams are worthy. It reminds us that greatness is not a gift reserved for the chosen few, but a birthright of anyone willing to unify belief, purpose, and disciplined effort. Whenever you feel the world's doubt bearing down, return to that place of stillness. Listen to the pulse of your own desire. Let the clamor of external judgment fade away as you anchor your mind in the knowledge that the seeds of triumph have already been planted within you. And if you should stumble, and you will do not let your mind interpret that as final defeat. The greatest stories of success are strewn with setbacks that would have dissuaded anyone less committed. Edison's 1,000 failed experiments did not discourage him. They informed him. Each misfire brought him closer to the correct formula. So too will your stumbles refine your approach, each one teaching you how not to do it. By reinterpreting failure as a lesson, you align yourself with that universal truth. Napoleon Hill espoused within every adversity lies the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Your faith transforms even hardship into a stepping stone. When adversity visits, see it as a storm that both tests your roots and waters your soil. Stand firm, and when it passes, you will find yourself stronger, more adaptable, and more certain of your mission than ever before. Doubt slinks away from those who relentlessly persevere. The world might not give you immediate applause. Few legends were embraced in the beginning, but the real victory is internal. Each time you choose to believe in the face of negativity, you fortify the greatest power you will ever wield, the power to decide that you will not be defined by external circumstances. That is the essence of personal freedom. In that sense, you become unstoppable, not because you have no obstacles, but because those obstacles cannot break your spirit. You do not crumble when you face criticism or rejection. You learn and adapt, letting each challenge become a tool for further growth. This is the art of unwavering faith in motion. It is the invisible current that sweeps you forward even when the surface of your life appears chaotic. And that current is multiplied whenever you align your mind, your habits, and your environment in a singular direction. Congruence is the silent, magnificent force that draws opportunities toward you. Belief is not merely a mental concept. It is an energy that resonates outward. People sense when you carry conviction, and doors that once were locked may open simply because someone recognized a spark of unstoppable determination in your eyes. Employers, investors, mentors, they gravitate toward individuals who exude certainty and clarity. Yet the greatest transformation occurs within you. Day by day, your confidence expands, your capacity to face trials grows, and your ability to manifest your vision sharpens. By daring to stand firm when the world is uncertain, you become a beacon for others, reminding them of the potential they too carry inside. This journey is far from easy, and that is by design. If it were easy, we would never be molded into stronger versions of ourselves. We would never develop the clarity and resolve that transform mere mortals into visionaries. Hardship, doubt, and fear. These forces can break us or build us, and the deciding factor lies within our belief. Which will it be? Will we let them erode our spirit or refine it? History shows us that greatness belongs to those who choose the latter. And you can make that choice every single day in the quiet recesses of your mind before the echoes of cynicism even have a chance to speak. Gratitude becomes the balm that soothes you along the path. While your belief pushes you forward, gratitude keeps you humble and receptive. It reminds you that no matter how grand your ambitions, there is always a blessing in the present. Gratitude expands what's possible by nurturing an attitude of abundance rather than one of scarcity. It keeps you aware of the resources, connections, and insights you already possess. This awareness not only stabilizes your mind, but also fuels further progress. You realize there is never an absolute starting point of nothingness. You come equipped with experiences, lessons, talents, and relationships that can be leveraged toward your goal. Humility coupled with unwavering belief is a potent force. It grounds you in reality while letting your mind soar in the realm of imagination. 1 foot on earth, 1 foot in the heavens. This is the balanced stance of an innovator. You maintain reverence for the natural laws of effort and time, but you also hold fast to the principle that your thoughts and actions can shape outcomes. This duality is what ensures that your dream does not wilt under the harsh light of practical challenges, nor does it float away into impractical fantasy. It is the perfect tension between vision and realism that propels you toward success. A crucial part of that realism is adaptability. Life does not always grant you the path you envisioned. Doors that seem to have your name on them might slam in your face. Projects that appear destined for glory might unravel. In those moments, adaptability becomes your lifeline. You pivot, you learn, and you remain loyal to the core essence of your dream, even if the form changes. When Walt Disney was forced to let go of certain characters and faced creative restrictions, he found a new direction, a new character, and a new concept that eventually revolutionized family entertainment. Adaptability is not betrayal of your dream. It is the dream evolving to fit a shifting landscape. It is a demonstration of belief so strong that it cannot be confined to one rigid plan. It will find expression in the most unexpected places precisely because it cannot be extinguished by failure. Every adjustment you make in pursuit of your vision is another act of faith. It says, I am willing to go around this obstacle. I will find a fresh approach. I will not stop. Over time, each pivot becomes part of the story that shapes your identity as someone who refused to succumb to the easy path of resignation. You become an example of what it means to stay the course, even when that course winds through uncharted terrain. In fact, the most significant breakthroughs often come on the heels of massive adjustments, where you harness your creativity to solve problems in innovative ways. Resilience stands at the heart of this entire process. Without resilience, doubt would be the final verdict. But with resilience, doubt is merely an opening argument, a challenge to see if you truly believe in your cause. If you do, you will remain steadfast, letting each wave of adversity roll over you as you stand unwavering, anchored in your vision. Like a tree with deep roots, you sway with the wind, but refuse to be uprooted. Over time, people will forget the storms that tried to topple you. They will only see the towering testament of your belief standing tall against every wind of resistance. Learning becomes your constant companion, because resilience without learning is stubbornness. You refine your approach by absorbing wisdom from mentors, from your own mistakes, and even from the criticisms of those who doubt you. Criticism can sometimes illuminate blind spots we would have otherwise missed. Embrace each opportunity to expand your perspective. True faith is never threatened by new information. It's strengthened by understanding what must be improved. You evolve faster than the obstacles in front of you, becoming a proactive agent of change, rather than a reactive victim of circumstance. Day by day, you mold yourself into the kind of person who can't be easily shaken. You hold your ground not by force alone, but by the elegance of a mind that is flexible, determined, and steadfastly focused on a vision of greatness. The moment you decide to fully commit to relentless belief, you can almost feel the cosmic gears shift in your favor. It's as if the universe tests your sincerity by putting roadblocks in your path. And the moment you demonstrate you won't be deterred, it reveals the next door. This is not mysticism, but a pattern observed time and again. Perseverance pays dividends in opportunities and insights that remain invisible to the uncommitted. In that sense, your journey becomes one of both inner and outer transformation. On the outside, you accomplish goals, accumulate experience, and build a legacy. On the inside, you transcend your old limitations, discovering a reservoir of strength that before you only suspected existed. By living in alignment with unwavering belief, you stand as living proof of the principle that an idea fueled by desire and faith, directed by clarity, and sustained through disciplined action, can evolve into something that changes lives. This is how movements are sparked, how great institutions are built, how revolutions in technology and thought occur. They begin as a seed of unwavering faith in the mind of a single individual who chooses not to succumb to the voices of doubt. And so the question is never whether the world doubts you, it always will to some degree. The question is whether you doubt yourself. If you do, you hand the keys of your destiny over to forces beyond your control. But if you rise each day with the audacious notion that you alone determine your destiny, that your inner voice speaks truths more profound than the naysayers, then you have already shifted the balance of power in your favor. The next steps, learning, adapting, acting with purpose, become a natural flow that carries you toward your grand vision. That vision becomes your North Star, guiding you through the labyrinth of life's uncertainties. Many will say you're chasing illusions. Let them talk. Legends are not written about those who conformed to mediocrity. They are written about those who, even at the risk of ridicule, gave themselves to an obsession with what could be. This obsession is in fact a higher calling, a summons to bring forth a contribution that only you can make. It is not for the faint of heart, but for those daring enough to love their dream more than they fear the pains of growth. In the final reckoning, it is not about how many people believed in you, but whether you believed in yourself when the chips were down. It is not about how easy the path was, but whether you had the courage to walk it anyway. History will not judge you by the volume of cheers you received in the beginning, but by the mark you left when your work was done. Edison's light bulb, Ford's assembly line, Disney's empire, these were all ridiculed at their inception. Now they stand as testaments to the power of unwavering conviction. Let that power course through your veins. Let it ignite your imagination. Let it break the chains of every limitation you once believed was real. The world may doubt you, but the world also needs your unique creation, your perspective, your light. One act of unshakable belief can spark a revolution in thought and action. It can heal a hurt that has existed for too long. It can inspire generations to come. You may not yet see the ripple effect of your unwavering stance, but stand firm anyway, because the greatest gifts to humanity emerged from those who planted seeds they might never see fully bloom. They did so because they believed. Carry that conviction forward day after day until it becomes more than just belief. It becomes knowledge, a deep-seated certainty in who you are and what you are destined to do. Let your voice be the loudest in your mind. Let your vision be the clearest picture you hold. And let your heart be the wellspring of courage that fuels it all. This is the power of relentless belief when the world doubts you. This is how you become the architect of your future and the conductor of your destiny. And in the end, doubt will dissolve into admiration. Adversity will transform into accomplishment. And you will stand where you always knew you belonged in the radiant light of your fulfilled purpose. Now rise. The world may doubt, but you will not. Embrace your vision. Let your faith blaze like an inferno, and walk forward with the assurance that the seeds of greatness are already alive in you. Nurture them with unwavering belief, bold action, and the steadfast refusal to bow to skepticism. That is your birthright. That is the legacy you are destined to leave. And that is how you stand tall, triumphant, and free, even when the world doubts you.